Okie dokie.
Welcome to the Machi Recreation Commission meeting. We have 5 members present right now, so we have a quorum. And we can jump right into new business, if you've got something to shoot with. And
I don't have anything really pressing. The only thing is basketball is considering, was wondering if we could explore getting a storage bin, like a taller storage bin for upstairs in that office for the off-season. The plan is from now on is probably to decrease the number of balls at Talent, get rid of all the old ones, whatever, have maybe 1 rack of balls there from now on for rec when we go into season. Usually we put multiple racks upstairs. But after all they're starting to wear out, and 2, after all the complaints we've heard about balls being left all over the place and not being able to rely on coaches to pack them up at the end of the night, we're looking to go into next year, everyone bring your own ball. So we won't have a need for as many loose balls there year to year. However, from March until September, when we aren't running travel and everything, we want a place to kind of store everything. And I don't have the exact dimensions or anything or how much room's up there, but we'd like to explore getting something, a taller cabinet or bin, so we can put that stuff in there for the 6 months and then come back after and get it out of there. So we're hoping it doesn't take up more room than those other ball racks used to take up.
we have the shed outside too, right?
Yeah, I mean, all the playgroup stuff is out of the shed, correct?
Not all of it, no.
But
No.
there's room in there too.
Oh, there's plenty of room. Yeah, I just have the big stuff that's left.
Right outside the side door where the kitchen is?
Yep.
The shed's
The shed, yeah.
wide open for storage.
Okay,
Measure it, grab your dimensions. I mean,
okay,
fine with that.
okay.
That's an easy one.
And I mean, even if you wanted to just get like ball bags, fill, and then hang them up in the shed.
Yeah, I think we'd rather have something where they might not walk
Well, that-
away, disappear. any of
That
the
blue
above.
bin is available. That blue bin that I put all
Right.
the balls in,
Mhm.
just put that in the storage
Okay,
unit.
yeah, you mean.
That's
On
what
the
I
lock,
did.
yeah.
Yeah, that's what I did for the
Yeah.
toys.
So, you know what I mean, it's just one of those things where we're trying to figure out ways to streamline things better, to keep things neater. Realistically, we look at soccer where you bring your own ball, we look at other sports where you bring your own equipment. Why for basketball aren't we saying, go get a basketball so you can use it at home as well as at practices? So, we did it with travel this year. I think we thought it went really well, so we're gonna do it with rec next year.
I'm all for that. My kids always had their own ball
Yeah.
coming
Oh,
in.
yeah.
I had no idea why coaches didn't insist on, go get a ball. Spending this money on the program, go get a ball.
Right.
We had the same thing with softball. We had the whole shed full of equipment, helmets and bats. There's probably 50 helmets in there, and bats they haven't been used in years. Everyone has their own stuff,
And no one wants to put
except for the
helmets on.
really young kids that are just starting, might borrow a few things, but for the most part, it just takes
At
up
one
space.
point, we actually talked about instructional, about actually purchasing basketballs to give to the kids when they showed up.
We did that this year.
Oh, there you go. That was easy. Anything else?
No, I don't think so.
All right. What do we got going here, Colleen?
Well, field maintenance, I think is the first item that I have on the list. Did we terminate the previous contract?
No, that was supposed to be Troy handling that, and probably should still stay in that place. He was supposed to handle that based on.
He asked
asked
in an
us.
email if we had done it.
Yes, that's what we
So I guess the response has to go back, well, no, you said you were gonna handle it back at the time.
But his
with
question
the
was,
town-
do we want him to?
With the town's attorneys. I kind of lean in the position, if we have a contract with somebody else, we'd keep them going until we have another contract.
I saw, Andy's made a good point on that. But, my thing was, at this point, if we, do we know that we can get somebody? Are there contractors who would normally book on it and say, we're already full for the season? So that leaves me a little bit nervous about terminating a contract if we have somebody. But He's probably on the same subscription service as everybody
Right, he's
else.
gonna see
So
it.
he's gonna see that, hey, they're
Well, that
putting
was
this
my
out to
question.
bid,
Is
and I
it,
still have the contract.
is it legal for us to put out an RFP without terminating an existing contract?
Those are all Troy questions. I mean,
Well, he's put it back on us, saying, did we terminate the contract?
yeah, I read it, I just know it,
I think,
my
you know-
response has to, or our response has to be back, no, that was something you and the attorneys are supposed to work on. Because
Okay.
it all started with his office anyway.
Right, so we've basically given, our position is we have given him the authority to do so.
Yes, we have.
But we don't wanna, we don't have the wherewithal to make sure that legally we're doing.
Right, we don't have the
steps properly.
expertise, he does, he's got the access to the expertise on this.
So
How to terminate it and when to terminate it, that's all in his ball.
has the RFP gone out? Is it in the papers? Because I thought his email said it was gonna be.
This weekend, right?
I don't know if
He
he
said
had-
Wednesday.
Wednesday and Friday.
That they would be in the papers. So it
Yes.
sounded like when we saw that email on Monday that they had in fact gone out and they will be in the paper.
It said the bid notice will be printed Wednesday's Union Leader and Fridays HLN.
Okay, so that's tomorrow.
Wyndham Column.
So if he's on the same, I guess none of us know what the legal terms are around.
I think releasing an RFP, putting that out there there's nothing binding on that, so I don't think we can sign another contract with somebody until the current one's
Okay.
terminated.
Right, but I think it's gonna get messier if we go into the season, because he's gonna want a payment soon as part of the contract. So we get really messy is, okay, we pay the first installment, and now we're only 2 weeks into the contract, and we terminate it, we're into somebody else, and now we need to get money back, and, you know, where does it start, where does it stop? If we're gonna do it, we need to do it before he sets foot on any of the property and just be done with it. I mean, we've gone a couple of years without contracts, and we can find people, you know, there are companies looking for work out there, and if we have to piecemeal it to get through a season, then we piecemeal it to get through a season. The
Well, I've
fields,
been on this, I think Keith and I've never, 5 years now? We've always had a contract, so I don't know how far back you're going with
The
not
only
having
time we
a
didn't
contract.
was when
Because when we
we were
joined TLC,
finishing
it had
up
already
with
been.
TLC, he carried on month to month for a while while
Right.
we were.
Right, but he was
trying to
still an
work it
existing,
out,
we still
but-
had someone
Yeah.
maintaining the fields.
well, I mean, we're very unhappy with the field maintenance. So, you know, I mean, I can't see us having a worse situation out there than we have in the fields right now, even if we piecemeal it with local landscaping companies. I don't think it's gonna be, I mean, I know it's not gonna be an issue. I mean, we either need to make the decision to terminate the contract and get somebody else, or go with them for the season. I don't think we can waver on it.
If he sees it, even though it's not binding, he sees it, he's gonna know that we're looking for somebody, so.
Well, we did have a meeting back in November to terminate the contract. We all agreed, terminate the contract.
Right. But then it was put to Troy.
Right, but I'm saying, so there's no, Andy just said, we need to agree upon terminating the contract. Well, that determination's already been made. We made that back.
Right, but I mean,
Is that
if we
the special meeting?
if it hasn't been
Yeah, right.
done, if it hasn't been done, I mean, I'm just saying at this point, if the contract is still not canceled, then we need to we can't say, okay, maybe we'll cancel it in a couple of weeks or a month. It's,
What's the, on the RFP, do we know, what was the date on that?
It's the 21st and 22nd. So they submit on the 21st, we review on the 22nd, but you just said you two aren't gonna be here on the 22nd, the last meeting of the month.
Correct.
So, that would only leave 4 of
I
us,
don't know if I'm here that day either.
4 plus John.
4 plus John, if
but
we're
I
all
mean, if we get
available.
them on the 21st and we scan them, and we send you the information, you can have any questions or input that you want. We'll just make it public record during the discussion.
That's fine, yeah.
And just email them to you
And if we
guys.
can't come up with, I mean,
We can't vote by email or,
But if there's a quorum here, at least we can have input.
What's
and we
that?
can-
right, but we're not gonna decide, we usually will review it that night, we won't vote on it until the following meeting
No, I
anyway.
think it said we were voting on it on the 22nd,
Okay.
because we have to expedite it.
Yeah,
I mean, they should be starting in the next couple of weeks.
vote November to terminate, or was it December?
It was before the holidays, I know that.
Well, we can have one member vote through,
We called it a
Phone.
special meeting. Let me just see if we
Yeah,
have.
can we vote if we called, or,
As long as we have a quorum, I mean, you know,
Right.
as far as electronically, at least if we're not able to be here, we can have some input or ask questions or, you know, participate. We just wouldn't be able to vote. But if we have a quorum, then at least we can have the vote to keep things moving.
The 29th.
We can't be part of the quorum.
Right, but it doesn't mean we can't participate in the
We can
discussion.
participate in the discussion, we just can't be part of the vote.
Right.
but we were told before, we can have one person either by phone or by Skype, and they count as somebody as part of the quorum. As long as they are participating in the discussion and all of their input is recorded
29th.
for public record.
November. Yeah. that's what we got.
I'd have to look that up. I was just reading some of the RSAs on that.
I have it
Because
right
it
here.
came
so
up
I
as
know
a
that.
public meeting issue. There was a violation of the RSAs on voting by email and somebody on phone, so I'd have to check. But unless Keith finds it right now.
It's not easy to find, but it's here.
We can zip an email out on that, though. We don't have to look it up right now.
I'll browse through while we're talking.
So we haven't heard from A&A.
No.
I mean, here we are.
So I'll send Troy an email letting him know what we just talked about. Copied all you guys
what did we decide?
that we terminated the contracts in December last year. We've already done this, so.
We did
It really-
have a meeting and a vote to terminate.
And then
Yeah.
we asked for him to do it.
And we did. I wrote that on here. And have the emails to back that up. All right. Other than field maintenance bids, so what else we have going here? How's the facilities going? I've seen a bunch of facility requests and so forth. Is that all working out? 'Cause it's springtime,
Yeah,
so.
I have a few here, but I think we're on the same emails that everybody else has. Did football get all squared away, flag football?
No, well, unless Peter,
That was being worked out between them and
Peter
pickleball, right?
Burr and, yep.
Well, and again, I sort of, when they were requesting the time, I didn't know it was for a potluck dinner. You know, and, I mean, one of the emails that I sent out to all the groups is, you know, especially this time of year, primary use should be for for a sporting event
I
or
didn't, did it
something.
say potluck dinner in it?
That's what they were
Not
requesting
at
it
the
for.
beginning.
Right. Originally, it was a request for flag football. They didn't really specify what it was for. I
No, she
kind of
just said
assumed it was
flag
for
football,
practice. This is for a year-end potluck dinner.
And awards presentation.
Huh?
And awards
Right.
presentation.
Did it say that in the second
It
email?
would have,
It's the one that she sent to Peter.
right.
Oh, okay. I just
It would
read
have been a better place to go to LMS cafeteria or GMS cafeteria or something
Right.
like that for that, other than kicking somebody else out of Talent Hall.
Right, because it's, I mean, taking a gym away, I mean, they can't play pickleball in the well, they
Oh,
used to
maybe
play
the second
pickleball in the
paragraph.
cafeteria, but,
potluck dinner.
Yeah.
you know, making the
It-
best use of our facilities is,
If pickleball agreed, though, I mean, the burden put was on Tara to contact Peter.
Right, she did.
Which
And
is
now I
the
don't
way
know
it's
if
supposed to
Peter
go.
responded back. I have no idea.
and he very well could have just replied, not replied all, so we
Right,
didn't get to.
correct. Correct.
The burden's still on them to talk first and only get in touch with us if they can't work it out, right?
Correct, and she said, she seemed to indicate that she didn't understand the process, so hopefully, she understands it now, or whatever, I don't know. They're all on this, all of those email accounts have been created, so they all know who to reach out to at each league. So they're all the same, right? The same standard format? The
Oh, very
league
close,
name
yeah.
dot LRC,
Some of them are a little different,
okay,
because, believe it or not, some of them were taken when I tried to do it that way.
okay.
I was like, really, flag football, LRC, take, or, I forgot which one it was. But everybody, I copied everybody on that group list, so you guys should have that list.
Yes, I have the list.
I didn't know what it all meant. It's just more access?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, it's just, what I've done is I've flagged them all so that they all come up as a red flag whenever I get an email from one of them. And so that's the only one I'm gonna, as far as requests from softball, from basketball, from whatever, those are the only ones I'm gonna pay attention to, because, you know, for soccer, I got like at one point, I got three or four different coaches asking for times, and they were asking for the same time, so I didn't know, was the coordinator asking for time for him, and, you know, just, it's way too confusing.
Were
That's
they
why.
all coming in through that one account now, or?
No, this was this was
Before you
before,
created the
and
account.
a couple after that I'm getting, like softball, I'm getting some directly from coaches instead of from the account.
Okay.
And it's just, again, it's gotta be streamlined, especially because the Schedule Once thing is not working anymore. So they can't do the one-offs anymore, because we didn't extend that account, because it really wasn't a great source, and I think it's like $20 a month or something. I don't wanna pay for something that really didn't work that great to begin with, so.
So what's the process right now? So we're using those emails, the requests are submitted to you
Well, the process is, we have a meeting before the season,
for the general,
and so we meet,
requests.
we basically get the major events scheduled out, and then any one-offs or changes or special requests or whatever will come through as an email request. Again, I believe baseball was the only one that.
No,
came
but
to-
Rick got there, but it was already over. So
Soccer was there.
soccer, I
Soccer
think, was
was
the
there.
only one there. So flag football wasn't there, baseball wasn't there, softball wasn't there. So by the time we got there, it was over. So I don't know. So I know that there were a few leagues that weren't there.
Right.
Baseball showed up the next night, from what I heard.
Well, baseball had only had one request, and they had already
But
made
he said
no.
the calendar thing, though, was, I don't know, it was set to Pacific time. I have no idea, but it, obviously, there wasn't representation from every league.
Right.
So,
And again, I mean, and the reason being that a lot of leagues had changeover, don't give us up, you know, the request, or the response I got from a lot was, oh, well, that email went to so-and-so, they're not in charge anymore, it's me. Like, well, sorry, but, you know, we can't sit there and try and track people down, which hopefully this will take care of that. And if they don't do the proper changeover of the email, this is where the emails are gonna go from now on. So, that calendar event is being sent to them as a reminder, so they get a reminder, and, you know, whoever the president was or the contact was last year got an email a week before the meeting, the day before the meeting, 2 hours before the meeting. I didn't get any response saying nobody could make it.
yeah.
You
Rick
get
didn't-
there, hang around, there's one, you know, I knew I was gonna be late, I emailed everybody, said I'm gonna be 10 minutes late, got there, there was one person there, it was soccer. He
Well,
gave
there's
me what he
gotta be,
wanted.
then we have to figure out a way, if they're not seeing it, there's a problem. So obviously they're not
Well, it's
seeing it.
also on the calendar, it's posted on the calendar,
Which calendar?
the town hall calendar.
Was it on the calendar?
Yes.
Okay. Then I don't know how these leagues are missing it.
Other issues right now?
I mean, I know that there's probably some requests, and I know that softball had some requests, but it was requests for times that soccer had already requested. And again, I didn't want to go through the whole back and forth with emails, trying to sort that through as email, because that's the whole idea of the meeting, is we could sit down and for 45 minutes, we sat there and we got the whole thing. The last 2 times we've done it, it's taken us 45 minutes to an hour, and we have the entire schedule agreed upon. People move things, you know, because all it takes is move it for an hour here, an hour there.
And that was winter season, which is the busiest for town
Right.
hall.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really think it's gonna be a major issue, because as far as I can see, that people are gonna be outside,
Hopefully soon this year, yes.
I mean, probably this
So
week.
you're jumping ahead of me on this one, because I wanted to get to the outside next. What's your thought process on opening fields? When's the best time to say
We never
yes?
technically
and-
closed them.
What's that?
We never technically closed them.
We don't close them, we just.
so,
when they
so
can
the
use them.
past, I think the past 3 years, we've left it to the leagues to determine, hey, you know, it looks like they're dry, or this part's okay to use, but we'll stay off of this, with the,
Right.
you know, with the thought in mind that they don't wanna damage the fields.
Right.
You still on lacrosse and soccer? Okay, well, that helps.
I know,
So then it's just softball and baseball. Baseball's never been an issue with jumping on the fields early.
Right.
I know the
And
softball
you're
fields,
tied into
I was over there
softball.
most
Yeah,
of the day
and
today.
they don't wear-
Today,
they
we're
don't wear
starting
cleats.
to work on those, and this weekend will be a big work weekend over there.
Yeah.
The 8U field, the original field in the back corner is fine. There's no issues with it at all. The other field in the back is getting there probably after tomorrow. It would be dried out enough to where it can be worked. In the Jewett field, the front field is still very, very wet.
And with softball, the majority of the use is on the infield, and you're not gonna damage that. It's
Yeah.
not-
I know there were kids over there today for practice that just wore sneakers.
Yep.
And they were over on the far side. But the other two fields are just, they can't be on yet. And those are always the last ones to dry out. That'll hopefully be remedied to some extent with the new mix. We just got a load of mix today and another load coming tomorrow for those fields. And then 2 tons of field conditioner coming in this weekend, I think. So they should get better.
Have you been down to Litchfield Park?
I have not, you know, part of it was gonna be a question of where field maintenance was going. And then realistically, this year, are we gonna look at thatching the field before we start using it? Are we gonna look at aerating it before we start using it? It was basically timeline questions, because on a field that size, it really needs to be thatched. The problem is in the past it hasn't been, and that has led to some dead spots out there when they start mowing and everything. So I didn't know if it was one of those things where, depending on the field maintenance contract, if they were gonna go out there and do it at some point relatively soon. But doesn't sound like.
Doesn't sound like it either.
I mean, honestly, I will go down there in the next couple of days and take a look. I mean, we've always in the past tried to say, first couple of weeks use sneakers only, but it's been a lot wetter than I imagine it is right now. I mean, usually snow alone on that back half of on
The south
on the
side.
south side of the field
Yeah.
is there until mid-April. And I know that's not gonna be the case, so, it'll definitely have to get down there and take a look at it before I can say, yeah, we should use it, or yeah, we shouldn't.
And I mean,
Trying
Brickyard,
trying to keep people off it right now, because, it'd be nice to get outside and use it. You also get in the thing where you don't want the field ruined in May because we were beating it down when the grass was still dead and people are on it digging it up,
So, with this relating to the contract for the fields, if we're terminating the existing contract, say tomorrow or sometime this week, and then we're looking at getting a new contract, on the 22nd,
Yep.
right? That work probably won't start until, mid-April, right? To actually get somebody on, to come out and start
Right.
doing work. Should we look at just hiring somebody to come in and do the initial fertilizer, aerating, dethatching? Because they could be doing it right now, and they probably should be. I mean, if they were gonna overseed, that should probably have been done this week.
I would say, let's make sure that Troy makes the contact with this guy, because we don't want
Right,
we don't want,
right.
Until
But-
We've gotta make
A&A's
sure.
been
But with the
officially-
understanding if that does happen, if that contract is terminated, I don't think we should wait till April to get somebody out there. We're gonna be in the same position we were last year, where it's, we're 3 or 4 weeks late on everything.
Doesn't the field maintenance contract, the RFP state opening the fields up? So the assumption would be if we grant the contract in 2 weeks, that
right.
here
I
it
mean,
is,
we can,
get to it. No reason to delay. If they're putting in a bid, and we
on the
approve it in 2
22nd,
weeks,
we give it to you, let's get there.
jump on it now.
ASAP. I mean, we just don't wanna, you start a situation where they're in a different program than the company that we're dealing with, and now, well, no, you did it out of the wrong order, now, it's just, I mean, we didn't have water on the
double
fields
pain.
until, June last year.
Exactly.
I mean, if they did the late season fertilizer, that stuff's just starting to kick in now, really.
And he did thatch the fields at the end of the season last year, right? September-ish, late September-ish.
I don't know if they actually,
He-
I don't
they
remember.
overseed it.
He overseeded it. I thought he
Overseeded it.
thatched
I
too.
thought they did thatch.
No, they
Did he?
aerated.
I thought he
Maybe they
aerated, he
aerated.
aerated,
They
because I saw the
aerated,
little
yeah.
clumps everywhere, yeah, aerated, no thatching.
Let's see what, how Troy responds towards this, and hopefully we'll have you guys will have an understanding before the next meeting of what's going on. If we have to jump into, call a special meeting prior to it, we'll do that. You know, if Troy's got some questions that we need to vote on, I'll just zip out a special meeting so we can get it done. You know, no delay. How's the Easter egg hunt?
This is my last year. My last year for doing it.
Oh,
Yeah.
gotta find a replacement, isn't that how that works?
Yeah, good luck with yeah, you got an email?
I did, I was gonna ask, I got an email,
Mm-hmm.
I guess there was some confusion from, was it New England Small Tube?
Yeah.
Do I have it? Here. Maybe I'll find it on here. She said she wanted to confirm that this was a rec event.
Yeah.
She was confused. She said,
Yeah, we're using a new magician this year. The old one couldn't make it, so somebody recommended this person, and I try to do everything for donations, and they said that was fine, but they wanted to try to get sponsorship, so I gave them a list of companies. I know you guys just went through everybody for Winterfest, correct?
Yeah.
So I said, you know, you can try, but I highly doubt there's any, you know, nobody's gonna be able to donate at this point, but feel free to try. And I guess New England Small Tube assumed that it was me calling them. She said the woman said she was me, but
so
she couldn't find me.
what she said, I got a call from someone named Jessica Philbrick, who I don't know. Let's see, and I asked her to send me an email, said she would send one directly from the magician or something. And then she said I'd like to get an email request from Litchfield Playgroup or Rec Commission. Today I got an email that says thank you for speaking to me. Her name was Sylvia, not Jessica. So she was confused by that.
Okay, see, I didn't get that one.
I don't know who Sylvia is.
She's one of the magicians. She was the one that was calling for the
Oh.
donations, for the
Oh, okay.
sponsorship. So, yeah, she just told me she had no idea who was who. She's never heard of the play group. She didn't think it was real.
I told her, I said, well, the playgroup does put on a Easter egg hunt every year,
Mhm.
and I told her that you were involved with the playgroup, which I didn't. I said I didn't know if you still were, but you had been in the past, so I didn't know. I assumed you were still doing the Easter egg hunt because you
Yeah.
had talked about that, but I knew you were getting out of the playgroup side of it. So
Yeah, the play group just doesn't meet on a weekly basis, but I've kept it open to do the Easter egg hunt, and I'm still hoping that somebody would
Okay.
want to take it over, but.
And then the other thing she was asking if it was a nonprofit, and I said I didn't know what the nonprofit status of the playgroup was, but that the Rec Commission was a municipal nonprofit and that it was being kind of co-sponsored by the
Right.
Rec Commission.
Right. I'm considered non-profit because I don't collect money for anything, but it's,
But not 501c3, right?
right, it's ironically, it's too expensive to become non-profit, so, I never applied for that, I just don't charge anybody anything, I get donations or come to you guys or go to Target. That's how I'm non-profit, so anyway, so she wasn't very happy with that, the magicians are not very happy.
The
I'm not making
magician, so it's a
anybody-
magician that is,
It's an illusionist.
an illusionist who's gonna
team.
be at the Easter egg hunt.
Yeah, we're doing everything completely different this year. We're hiding, all the eggs are gonna be filled this year, no participation bags. We're not doing big baskets anymore, cause I can't stand hearing the kids cry anymore that they didn't win one, so I'm just doing a bunch of small prizes instead of the big baskets, so almost every kid will get a prize as well as what's in the eggs.
Okay.
So I'm doing a little different. We're doing a DJ instead of clowns because I'm not getting yelled at from the clown this year. So we're gonna do a little dance contest, illusionist show, and then they're gonna find eggs. So
Okay, so it's an illusionist, so the illusionist was the ones that reached
right,
out to
they're
small.
the ones that are looking for sponsorship. They
Oh.
charge $425 for a half an hour show, and I said no, thank you. So she said that's pretty much my entire budget. So I said, no, thank you, we'll find something else. And she's like, well, you know, I'll try to go to different companies and see if I can get donations through them. And I said, well, we just did the Winterfest, and I said, and I don't want to, the whole purpose of the egg hunt is to not, it's.
So is
not
the
free.
illusionist are they local, are they helping run it?
Manchester.
Huh.
So, yeah, it's educational entertainment.
And so they were wanting to reach out to local places to get
Funding.
on their own.
Yes, because I said I'm not doing that. So she's like, no, that's okay. Just send me a list of companies and I'll call them. I said, okay. Well, this woman assumed it was me calling. I don't know if the illusionist
Did you talk to them once, or because she said she goes, first I talked to Jessica Philbrick, and then
No.
I got an email from somebody else, and so she didn't know what's going on.
Right, no, she's never talked to me. She actually reached out to me through Facebook because she had no idea. She said that the illusionist claimed to be me. She said, this is Jessica Philbrick, soliciting sponsorship for our show.
Okay, that makes sense with what.
Right.
Right.
So I said, no, I said, it wasn't me. I said, that was actually an illusionist. And she's like, all right, well, I'm completely confused, so at this point, we're not going to donate. And I said, that's more than fine. It's up to you. So I think that's where the confusion came from. So.
Okay.
So is the illusionist coming or no?
As far as I know, she still is.
Okay.
She hasn't said no yet. They did say yes, that they would do it. They're going to sell magic wands there. And I said, do what you need to do. I don't charge anything. I'm not putting out donations. I'm not doing any of that. So it's just going to be the kids are going to come, have fun. If parents happen to have money, feel free to sell whatever you need to sell. So. Oh, and then Granite State American Kempo is going to come as well.
Okay.
So.
So it's still on the 25th or whatever.
20th.
20th, I can't. Wow.
It's-
20th.
Yeah,
Next
it's
Oh,
crazy.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
Before
Easter's
Easter.
the following
Before-
Sunday.
Yeah, that's right.
Are you doing all day? Or what's your,
No, I'm doing 1 to 3.
but
So that-
you need the fields all day?
yes, the fields are going to be, well, up until the kids find all the eggs, but I usually typically go there around 9 o'clock in the morning. And I haven't gotten anybody to volunteer, so it looks like I'm going to have to show up even earlier because I don't know how I'm going to pull it off by myself, but, you know,
I'll
Basically.
put it on the Facebook
We're
page.
going, right?
yeah, I'm just going to basically take eggs and chuck them. There's really nothing else I can do at this point. So yeah, it's been difficult this year.
Yeah. We know that.
Oh yeah, no, I'm sure you do. It's hard, and I mean it's even harder because all the parents want to do the hunt with the kids.
Yeah.
I get that, so they can't really volunteer because they want to enjoy it with their kids, which is ironic. I've never done an egg hunt with my own son. That would have been nice to do at one point with my kid, you know. I thought I was going to be able to accomplish it the first year, and it just doesn't work that way. So it's basically that, you know, if the games have to run themselves, the games run themselves. The parents are going to have to step up and do something,
Do
you
you have a
know.
flyer or anything for it?
I haven't finished the flyer yet because I'm still trying to figure out the names of everybody, what they want to be called. But I can still use the town copier though, correct? To make the copies for the school? Okay. So once I get that finished, I'll make the copies and I'm just handing them out again to.
Yeah, we can put on the website and
Yeah.
Facebook.
Yep,
When you
and
get
then the flyers to GMS, and I'm not advertising in Hudson Litchfield News or, because we get other towns, and then it's just chaotic, so I'm hoping this year will be a little less chaotic with no participation bags. Everybody just goes to find their own eggs. If they want to come in afterwards, they come in afterwards. If they want to, you know, leave right after their eggs, leave. So I'm hoping that'll cut down the lines. It won't be so.
What are the time? The
1
time?
to 3?
1 to 3?
Good luck.
Yeah.
Wish I could be there, but
Yeah, fine.
we'll be out. We do have a vote we're supposed to take tonight. The Booster Club, April 2nd, they have the use of town
Spring.
hall for comedy night,
Spring Fling event.
spring fling.
This is the insurance.
dance. The last meeting, it was just the two of us, so there was no official vote. So based on the rules of order and so forth, I sent Colleen a message to let them know they were approved and that we would formally vote it in as they go. So I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the spring fling for the Booster Club on April 2nd.
I'll second.
Got a second? Any further discussion? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
600. That was nice and easy.
Do we have a
Now-
time on that? How early they need to get in to set up?
What did Andy say?
How early are they gonna get it set up?
The time, do you know?
I have it
It-
from
it-
5 to midnight.
That was
That
the
was the
original
request,
request.
yeah.
Yep.
It's 5
All
to
right, so pickleball is there. We'll have to let them know.
So that's one of the items on the list is forms.
That's why I brought this.
So what was the
Right.
other form?
Well, so Tara requested an access code, and Andy said, you need an access form. Who has the access forms? And where?
I have it on I found it on a computer, put it on the Google Drive. It's it's the one that everybody's filled out.
I've never
Since
had
I've been
one,
trying to
Andy.
get an access
I've never
code
had a
for 4
code
years.
since I've been on the board.
Well, you haven't filled out a form.
I haven't seen a form. It hasn't been a form.
I filled the form out, but it was a long
Yeah.
time ago.
Can you
form-
send the form out?
Can we,
Technically, the forms, they're
scan?
supposed to come, we're supposed to go, the forms aren't supposed to be filled out and then just sent back. They're supposed to come in, they meet with me or somebody from the rec commission. We show them, okay, this is how you access the hall, this is where, the exits are, the whole bit. And then you go through the form and then they sign off on it. This is something that the fire department, what were we down to? We had an occupancy of 49.
Yeah,
Anything over 49 or 29.
I think it was 49.
49.
I think it was just
We had
like
to get a fire watch and a police watch and an act of Congress or whatever. So we came up with this form, and that was what they approved, to say, okay, if anybody that's in charge of the facility has gone through this and understands the responsibilities, then we're good with it.
So if you're not operating over 49 people in there, no big deal. So Winterfest, you actually should have had a code for that and should have gone through the whole process. But as a rec commission member too, we've kind of
So
assumed everybody has a code.
we should have it, okay, you said it's on a Google Drive.
Well, right, I found it on my old computer, because it's been emailed out to everybody a dozen times at some point.
can we
But a
scan
I've
long,
never
but a
seen
long,
it.
but a
Can
long
we just
time
put them on
ago.
the
I haven't
website?
seen it, yeah.
Have a
I
form
was gonna
section on
say,
the
yeah.
website and have everything on there?
So can you send that to me so I can get it on the website? And then you also mentioned the insurance form.
Right, that I can't find. I
Yeah,
know,
This was sent to us on March 1st, 2014, the Talent Hall User Agreement.
yeah. And then people that have, as they've needed them, I've been sending them out to the leagues to say, pass this on to your new coaches, to new whatever. Each
Says I,
league's been
I
getting it.
agree not to share my code.
That's I've never seen, yeah, that's 2 years ago.
2014.
14, March, yeah.
Right, that's the one I
But
sent
this
to
was
us.
sent to everybody.
2 years ago. I have no recollection of it. I can tell you
Welcome to
that.
my age.
Yeah, exactly.
Keith's name.
What's the subject?
Talent Hall User Agreement. This was March 4th, 2014.
That's pretty good. That's not even, that's a new computer, right? So it's not even saved. It's just under those million emails you
I
sent.
just searched my emails. I can find anything.
There,
There it is.
I
There you
just
go.
sent an email I have.
All right, so you're all set. You've got the form.
Got it.
Good.
Finally. Wish we
Thanks.
knew the title of it. That would have been helpful. That's good. All right.
How
Perfect.
did you know to look that up?
Can
Oh,
you just
whatever,
hold
doesn't
that?
matter.
Yes.
Okay,
Put
well,
in access
because I
code,
can't find
that's
it.
what I
Yes.
searched for,
Oh, access code, okay.
That's how I found it.
All right, well, what do we have next here? Wasn't there one more thing you needed, Colleen?
Well, yes. I wanted to talk about the Talent Hall calendar, mainly, and the access code. It seems like just having one person, I know Andy's swamped. Would it be in the best interest of the rec commission to have additional users participating in this, so it's not just left on one individual?
Well, you guys all have access to change anything on the calendar.
So I know, well, is it still in the Google? Because
It's a Google Calendar, yep, and
see,
it's
I
been
have
shared
the
with
LRC
everybody.
Google Calendar. and
So
I'm-
we have,
You have permission to change events on the
Okay.
calendar.
We all do.
We've
So-
had that for years.
Did that change? Because I have that calendar access to it, and nothing's showing on it on the one I have. Hold on, maybe. Oh, there it is. I got it. So I've always been able to change things, but I was always hesitant to do it because I didn't want to. You know what I mean? I don't want. I want to make sure we're all on the same page before we change anything. And I agree with Colleen that it'd be better for us. You've always kind of overseen the scheduling, but in interest of us not, we're all volunteers, not always accessible, that it's good for us to
Right.
have a couple of people.
The only thing that we run into is when we get a request, like, the only time I approve something without coming here is if it's not a conflict, or a conflict that has been worked out among the groups. If soccer wants to haul from 6 to 8 on Thursday, and softball wants to haul from 7 to 9 on Thursday, and there's a conflict, I never make that decision.
Right. But for
The
instance,
calendar's not always up to date, when sometimes we have those changes and they don't get reflected,
like
so.
play football said, you said all set, and yet she ran into a conflict where it wasn't updated. Your email said, you're all set, calendar's been updated. It was
Yeah.
never updated. But if it was, I could have easily gone in, I saw it wasn't updated, but I'm like, well, Andy's saying it's updated, but I could have easily gone in and just updated it for her.
Right.
But instead, pickleball was unaware of it. They stayed in the hall until flag football got in there and said that they had permission to use it. So, and then I'm seeing things where I know my children aren't playing basketball
Right,
over
well,
in Talent.
the basketball is different, simply because right now we have no access to LMS on almost every night while playoffs are going on.
No, I'm talking when it, for January and February, Andy, my daughters have not, 7/8s, travel 7/8s have not used Talent Hall once.
Okay, those were requests from the coach that, for
But
times
this
that
is,
weren't.
so I don't know how, but there's
is-
slots in there that are not accurate. And if we're aware of it,
Okay,
then-
well, there's no travel on there until the last couple of weeks. Travel's been all at LMS, except for
travel's been
vacation
in the
week.
calendar for weeks now,
For weeks, yes,
For weeks
and they haven't
where?
been using it.
at Talent. Starting with
Talent.
vacation, because we don't have
The
access to
RBL.
LMS during school vacation weeks. We don't have it access this week and next week because playoff games are happening at LMS.
So the travel was there during
There
school
was
vacation
travel
week, I know.
during
One night,
vacation
yeah, one night.
over
That was it.
Christmas.
That was, yeah,
But travel wasn't scheduled at all. And even on the schedule, it didn't say anywhere at all until the end of February again.
Right.
Everything else was rec. 5, 6, 7 rec. For girls and everything. It
Travel's
wasn't.
in there the week of February 21st, but that was vacation.
that was vacation,
Right.
but, so it's back here, I don't know, the 3rd of March.
Yeah, Andy was just saying that.
Right, the current stuff right now, they've moved over.
Right.
Since school vacation, they've been moving people over to town hall for lack of use at
And
LMS.
basically what happened is we took their
January.
current practice slots,
It's-
moved them from
it's-
LMS to Talent.
It's in
But
there all
those slots will change based on, I mean, you know the MSBL.
Yes.
We just got the playoff schedule,
Oh,
so.
believe me, yeah, we're in the league, it's.
So the whole idea is we have no idea what nights we can practice until the schedule comes out, and then it's adjusted, and then it's adjusted. I mean, I've had to change my practice this week 5 times because,
Right, oh yeah, no, we're in the
so,
Manchester League too, it's
You know.
bad.
so,
But I guess my point is, it seems like it's a lot on one individual. There's a lot of leagues making a lot of requests and requesting access to this facility, various things. So I think it should be,
So
handled by
I
more
guess-
than just
I guess
one
the question
person.
would be, Tara sends out an email that says, hey, the calendar's not updated, and you've got time to do it, send in an email, hey, I just keyed it in.
I will, I just never knew that I thought it was Andy. I think we all thought it was Andy.
No, I
'Cause
think
none of us have ever
no,
gone
I
in to
think
change
we all were
anything.
going like this, Andy, will you take it?
And
And Andy
honestly,
kept going, here's access.
I remember him saying we all had access.
It has been Andy
Yeah.
for as long as I can remember.
Yeah,
Right,
And really, I'll say this, since we went to the quarterly schedules, it's last March, I think was the first time, or
Right,
whatever
yeah.
it was. It's been a lot cleaner until this February, where everyone missed the meeting, and now everyone wants times that they want in there that haven't been scheduled because that meeting was missed. I mean, that's caused a lot of the chaos
Right.
in the last month, from what I've seen. I mean, before that, I thought the last year has actually gone as smoothly as I've seen it go.
I thought last year
in,
was,
like,
was
I thought
went
so
well.
too.
3 years. Like, I mean, with the calendar online, it started helping things when you could schedule stuff on your own. But then the quarterly stuff cleared up a lot of problems.
Agreed.
But missing the meeting, has caused those old problems to come back up, because now it's, well, we want this, and we want this, and we want this, and we want this, and there's other programs in there, or pickleball's already gone the time because no one else stepped in, so it's become a problem again. But it was being handled with the quarterly meetings, but, that's just my take on it.
But even outside of the general request for the season from those quarterly meetings, there's always gonna be those, every week, it
One-offs.
seems, you're gonna
Yeah.
have someone saying, oh, hey, I need to, got this going on that night because with the school events, we need to change this to this, and, and just, I just wanna make sure we're all okay with if that stuff comes up. Like Colleen, Colleen
Right.
sits at home
Yeah.
on the computer
Well,
all day. If she
what I'd
goes
like,
nuts,
I mean,
having to change
probably the
that.
easiest thing to do is we can email this group and say, every request needs to go to RC to the general email, so we all get it.
Yes.
And if anybody updates it,
Send it back.
we just reply all and let everybody know.
Perfect.
Got it.
Yes,
Perfect.
I think that
And it's gotta
works
be a
well.
first come, first serve. If there's a conflict, the email just goes back to them saying, hey, you've requested a time that already has pickleball, contact pickleball. And,
I think the only response back we need is what just didn't happen with Tara, to have pickleball contact and say, hey, we approved it. They've got the time, and now we can go into the calendar and do it. We didn't get that in this case.
No, we'll have to reach out to her
So-
and see if she got it.
Right, but
Just
if
to
they're gonna
clarify,
all do that,
Right.
I guess the process or the policy is, we have the quarterly meetings, everyone puts in their requests, that what they can foresee for the season. And then anything else that comes up is on a first come, first served basis, and conflicts are
right,
typically
and
gonna be
basically
handled
those groups
league to
that,
league.
we've set the emails up for, those are the only ones that are gonna be able to do the one-up, email, I got this, because they have a standing agreement with, if there's some other group, some new boys club group or whatever, and they email, they're gonna have to, hey, fill out a form, come to the meeting, get approved. We're not gonna make that for every softball wants, hey, we need something Friday night, we'll fill out a form, because that's what, when we first started this,
right.
we were doing that every single request
Right.
needed a form, which was getting ridiculous.
It should be like we just did with Tara. New organization comes in, they get approval, they join the rest of the groups, they understand where everybody stands and work together.
Right, now she has an account, and we all have access to that account, so we can send out the reminder. I know you said there's a reminder email that goes out before these meetings,
Yes.
so the reminder email will go out to all of these aliases, and I guess in there, do we say, if you've changed the
No.
coordinator,
No, 'cause-
forward this
well, if
on?
they've changed the coordinator, then the email's going to, they,
Still getting delivered,
right,
and that person could just sit on it again,
but I mean.
like they
then-
did before you.
Yeah,
They
the-
sat
the
on your other
leagues-
emails.
The leagues need to understand that,
Yeah,
yes, this is
that's-
the email, and then
that's
I think
the
you
problem.
explained that.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
You're
can
gonna,
sit
this
on
is the
it.
email you're gonna use for
So
scheduling
the-
issues, and you make sure you pass this along to the new person who takes that
He did
position.
explain
So,
that.
so let's
Yeah.
be comfortable.
That's my thing. He's already-
Lacrosse,
it was already
lacrosse
explained.
knows, basketball knows, soccer knows, softball
Yeah.
knows,
Yeah.
right? Baseball knows, Tara knows,
pickleball knows.
pickleball knows. Am I missing
Right.
somebody?
No, I think,
No, I
it
don't
was
know
in
how what
his
happened
email.
last time.
It was
That's,
good,
yeah,
but that's,
I think it was perfect with this new setup. I think it's very good with all these leagues
Okay.
under one.
Right, the reminder is just a Google Calendar reminder saying, hey,
Does that, if they don't have Google Calendar, will that pop up for them? If they don't use Google
they
Calendar,
have Google Calendar, but they'll get the email anyway. They will get an email
they
reminder.
will get an email. Okay.
Right.
Right.
Because the other thing that we can do too, and I know that we have our own site, but we can set up a Google site page too, that is linked to all these accounts and have all the forms right there for them too, so it's a little easier for them to access. But
You say Google site page. What do you mean by that? Google site page.
it's like a web page, but it's a Google site. So
is there an advantage of you just putting it on our own webpage?
because they have a link to it right from their email. They just basically, once you're in your email, you click that little thing that looks like a Rubik's Cube.
Yeah.
You go to sites, and it's right there. So they don't have to log on to our site and it's just, we can have it in both places. It's just, the more spots we have it, the better off they are.
Okay.
That's all I have, unless anybody else has
Um,
new business.
I just wanted to make it official, motion to approve $1,000 in field maintenance funding for softball's use for the infield improvements. We talked about it by email, but we need an official vote on it.
I'll second.
Any discussion? My only question is, I didn't think we went to votes on that stuff. I thought it was just already in our budget and it was approved.
Well, our budget's not approved, so we don't know.
Well, no,
We'll know
selectmen
tonight.
approved our budget, so
No, but I mean, we don't know if it's been voted on.
it doesn't matter, we still get the default budget
Still got
otherwise.
default, right? which-
Right, but we don't know what the default budget has in it.
The difference in the default budget was like, a few $1,000s.
Right, that's for the town. We don't know what our default.
Right,
Well,
but the difference between the two, it's
Right.
minuscule.
so the
I mean, so what is in our budget for it's for field improvements, correct?
it's all under the line of field maintenance.
Field maintenance.
But what we did was we just took that $2,000 of that we had previously paid to the contractor. We canceled that portion of the contract with the contractor, and we said we're gonna keep that $2,000 available for the leagues to utilize.
Because they didn't do the work,
Right.
so that got pulled out. So it's in our budget for this year to do that. Now, the one change that's gonna happen is the RFP comes through, I'm gonna have to go in front of the selectmen to explain, hey, we got a different contract coming and we need to increase our budget.
We may,
We
right,
may, or not.
right.
If it decreases, I'm technically supposed to go in front of them as well and explain to them why our budget's decreased, and let them know. Whichever way the RFP comes out, I have to go back and talk to them. No big deal, but. So, we can vote on it.
So
I'm
if
fine
we
with
don't,
that.
if we don't need a vote, we don't need a vote. I just wanted to, I know we discussed it, with some emails that came up, but I just wanted to if we need an official vote on it, I just wanted to do that. But
To make it comfortable, all in favor, $1,000 being spent on field maintenance, I'll say aye.
Aye.
Aye, opposed?
Aye.
5-1-0 then.
I don't know if it matters, you just mentioned December 29th, it was actually, our vote was November 29th, I don't know if it matters.
Oh, just the email I sent to him, all right.
Does it
That's all
matter?
right. No.
And I have one other request. You mentioned prior to the meeting started that we have 2 slots available for the rec committee.
Two
Commission.
alternates, yeah, rec commission.
I'm just,
See,
I'm
rec committee was
begging
long before
people to
of your
join the
time
rec
here.
commission.
There are 2 alternate positions available in the recreation commission.
thought we
Who's
had up to
up
12
this
positions.
year, by the way?
What's that?
Whose term is up right now? So who has to
Not
resubmit?
me.
Not me, I was last year.
I think you and I just did it.
But
It might
I don't
be-
know.
2 years ago? No, last year, because I remember they were trying to.
Yeah.
Don't they usually let us
You wanna
know?
Google
Write
that?
it down.
We
And it's a
did
3-year
last-
term.
We did last year.
You wanna check?
Where is it? Do we have it listed somewhere?
It's usually this time of year anyway,
We both got tracked down last year.
2 years ago.
Was it 2 years
I
ago?
think it's usually,
I think
it
it
was
was
usually.
We were last year, I think.
Jason Hoke usually brought that to our attention.
Right.
I don't know if that's something that Troy's looking at.
I
We
don't.
may want to check with him.
I think it might, I know Betty, I think, is this, because she's still technically on there.
Well, I thought we had actually the potential of 12 spots.
No, 10.
10.
10 with the,
10 with the selectmen.
So what do we have now? We have
6.
because we have no alternates. It's 6 full-time,
So we could
3
potentially
alternates.
get 4 more.
No,
Yeah.
2 alternates and,
You and I were 2014.
Oh, was that 2 years ago?
Yeah, I thought it
Sorry
was
about
last
that,
year.
I'll take that back.
Yeah,
See,
we were
what it
we
was
were
last
last year, we were
Last
last year,
year.
that sounds right.
so I must be this year.
You must be coming
Yeah,
up.
you must.
and Betty is
think
she
she's-
still on there?
No.
Or she's
Did it? She-
We swapped.
Yeah,
I was gonna
yeah.
be the alternate, but
Right.
she gave up her spot, so now she's the
Okay.
alternate and,
She's still listed as an alternate,
is she? Okay.
yes. And I'm not sure if it's 10 or 9. That I'm not positive on. It might be 9
It's in
counting
the-
selectmen.
It's in the annual report.
Okay,
Okay, so
I'll look it up.
I was gonna put something on the website, I don't know if you can put something on Facebook and just see if we can try to get some people.
It'd be nice to have a couple alternates, no doubt.
We're gonna hit up the Winterfest committee.
That's what I was gonna do, I just wanted to, yeah. send that
Well, I
out
have a
to
question
everybody.
about Facebook, speaking of Facebook. So now Facebook,
He's your
usually,
Facebook guy.
you're the Facebook, okay, so why is it locked where people can't make comments or, not comments, but
I don't think that
people?
page is.
Yeah, no, you can't post anything. Like, I couldn't write on your page, hey, it's a rec commission meeting tonight for a meeting. I couldn't write that. No regular person who goes onto Facebook. could
Yeah,
do
and,
that.
I didn't set the page up initially. I know in pages that I have set up that when it's not a personal, well, maybe you can do it with personal accounts, but when it's an organization or a business or something like that, you can restrict it so that only,
Right,
only administration can,
Yep.
can post.
Yep.
Other people can comment on existing posts, but they can't leave,
yes.
an
Right.
original post.
And
'Cause
why
they
is
put,
that?
they put comments on the Winterfest and so forth.
They
Yeah,
can
they can
comment.
comment.
Because
on
it
a
clutters
post
up
that's
the,
already
because if you're trying to post
Yeah, and
significant information, you end up with all these other comments, pushing your stuff down, cluttering up the page.
but you can be an administrator.
Oh, right, but I'm just saying, like, if somebody wants to come on and say, hey, are you guys having a meeting tonight, or how do I sign up to
They
become a
send us a
commissioner,
message.
or?
They can,
But the
they can
contact-
message us.
They can message through
Yeah, and that's
Facebook.
how you wanna leave it, you don't wanna
Yes.
leave it,
Well,
so
don't we have
everybody
email,
can read it?
don't we have our email contact on there too?
It's a messy page
Yeah.
anyway. Yeah, it's a lot of stuff coming through.
And you don't know, I mean, people could put whatever they
Yeah.
wanted up there, so.
Yeah.
There are things that you don't want set out in the pages too, if it's gonna be out there. Blocking people would get ugly at that point, right?
Really, okay.
And that was, I think, the thought process when we started talking about it.
So,
Facebook can get ugly.
I'm
if you're
going
not
to
careful.
put the RC email address as an administrator, so anybody,
Yeah. Oh, it wasn't for me to like update it or anything
no, I
like
just,
that. I was
like-
just curious as to why people couldn't post things on
right, they
there.
can only,
Comment.
right. I get messages, occasionally I'll get someone message me with a question about,
Yeah.
hey, am I want to sign my kid up for basketball, how do I do that? And we just forward that
Right,
on
that's
there.
kind of what I was thinking,
They-
those type of questions. I wasn't thinking of the,
They come through,
should've.
because I get copies of
Yeah,
them.
we all get them.
We get hit with them each time they come through as messages. We all get them.
Oh, yeah, I don't get them, but,
How'd she luck out?
yeah, right. Well, I just, I mean, because before I was on the rec commission, if I had a question about soccer or, how do I sign my kid up? I wouldn't have thought to private message, but, I mean, there's not a whole lot of information on there, so, well, that's mostly, I know it's separate,
Now they have all the links too to the leagues. That
Yeah,
helps
which is
them
nice.
on the page.
which is nice, yeah.
It's good looking links too.
I was just curious.
Anything else? I'm gonna make a motion, we adjourn then.
I think that's it.
A second.
Excellent. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Have a great week. 2 weeks, 3, see you in 4.
Yes.
What's the age group for the thing? So I'll get that